Hillary Clinton speaking out in an interview with CNN's Christiane Amanpour at the Women for Women event here in New York. Back with me, my panel. Alice Stewart, I know you think that Secretary Clinton lost because she didn't connect with the middle class. You said as much just a moment ago, but look at this.
It wasn't a perfect campaign. There is no such thing. But I was on the way to winning until the combination of Jim Comey's letter on October 28th and Russian WikiLeaks raised doubts in the minds of people who were inclined to vote for me but got scared off.
Do you agree with that at all?
Well, there's still questions about the Russian interference. We know that they interfered, but whether or not they influenced the election, we don't know. But the bigger point is that she continues to point the finger at James Comey. Look, without her personal server that she started from the very beginning that never should have happened, there would be no investigation. There would be no James Comey letter. So she can blame James Comey all she wants, but without her personal server, there would be no James Comey investigation.
Go ahead, Mayor.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of cute. And she's taken responsibility for the server issue, but you just can't deny that the confluence of circumstances, and also, Alice, you're wrong. She didn't lead with the misogyny issue. She was actually asked a question by Christiana. So the fact of the matter is the election was on the day it was, not on October 27th, but you cannot deny that the impact of all of those outside factors certainly played a role, in addition to mistakes that were made by either the candidate, Secretary Clinton, or the campaign, which she acknowledges. But if all of that other stuff doesn't happen, and even though it did happen, she still got more votes than Donald Trump.
That's true, but we're not playing. You don't win the presidency on popular vote. You win by.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. It's a two-part thing. I get that.
So Brian,
Michael, but it was only because of those, Michael. It was only because of those 3 to 5 million illegal aliens that voted in California for Hillary Clinton.
Well,
Don't you know that much by now?
Anna, that's your responsibility, Anna.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm legal.
Wow. That just happened. So Brian, you were there.
That's my friend.
Tell us what it was like inside the campaign from the first Comey letter until Election Day.
Well, for the first 4 days, it was a firestorm, and then it sort of died down. And at by the middle of that final week of the campaign, there was actually more scrutiny on Jim Comey and why he had sent that letter than anything else. And I think that we thought that we had withstood it, but clearly the analysis that has come forward by Nate Silver and others of the switch and the huge swing in the voting trends between the states that had early voting throughout the month of October versus those that voted in the final weekend on Election Day was huge in difference making. Look, Don, we lost by less than 100,000 votes across 3 states with an outcome that narrow. You could point to any number of factors, and all of them might have been decisive. So, Alice is dwelling on the server. That was a mistake. She admitted it in the campaign. I do think we paid a price for it. So that was certainly among the factors. But Comey's role can't be dismissed either. And we Democrats can walk and chew gum at the same time. We can do 2 things. We can recognize, on the one hand, that we have work to do with middle-class voters and work to correct that. And we can also say that we need to have this full, fair investigation into the Russian intrusion and the sending of the letter by James Comey, and have that be thoroughly looked at by Congress too. It's not either or.
Okay. Well, here we go now. The president is tweeting. He says FBI Director Comey was the best thing that ever happened to Hillary Clinton, and that he gave her a free pass for many bad deeds. The phony Trump-Russia story was an excuse used by the Democrats as justification for losing the election. Perhaps Trump just ran a great campaign. What do you think, Brian? I'm going to go to Brian because he was there. What do you think?
Well, I think Hillary sort of predicted this, and Christiane did too.
She said, yeah, I felt a tweet coming. They both said that.
Yeah, and look, I think Hillary Clinton recognizes that part of the resistance is trying to keep Trump distracted for the next 4 years so he can't actually focus on things like repealing Obamacare and getting a tax reform through that would just advantage the wealthy. So just this past week, he was so focused on all these stories that were being written about his first 100 days, giving all these meandering interviews talking about Andrew Jackson, that he didn't notice that Democrats were winning on all the major provisions and sticking points in the spending discussions that were finalized this week. So if we keep up that pattern and Hillary Clinton can make herself the pincushion for Donald Trump to focus all his attention on for the next 4 years, and he doesn't get the rest of his agenda passed, I think that's a good trade-off.
Did you find that insulting at all, Andre, to the FBI director, these tweets?
I don't know. I've developed thick skin, so I don't get as offended as quickly. So I don't know if he did or not. I can tell you this, Don. We know the next 4 years in American politics, it's not going to be boring by any stretch of the imagination. But I don't really know whether it was or not.
Yeah, I want to talk about because
yeah, but Andre,
go ahead.
This is not a game show, right? And you cannot ignore.
Mayor,
Michael
I realize
Flynn,
that no matter what, you're
Paul
going to take a shot
Manafort.
every chance you get. I try to come to
let
the
him finish,
table
Andre.
with
I'll
both
let you
sides.
respond.
I realize where you're
Andre,
at
let
every
him
time.
finish, and I'll let you respond. Go ahead.
There is a real investigation being conducted by the FBI director, James Comey, Michael Flynn, Paul Manafort, Carter Page. We didn't manufacture those folks. We didn't create those individuals out of thin air. There's real issues here. The director testified under oath in Congress that the Russian government interfered in our election.
Go ahead, Andre.
That's his testimony.
Look, I wanted to raise above this. I mean, I could take my shot at Hillary Clinton anytime I wanted. She met on a holiday weekend on a Saturday. When does the FBI ever do that? They immediately had an announcement Tuesday morning.
We're talking about
So
the
how
now
did they
President
study
of the United
One
States.
at a time.
Yeah, again,
He's the president.
Mayor, I know every time you get the shot, you're going to beat down. I just don't think today was the day to beat down on Hillary Clinton. She came back out. She had some positive parts, and so I try in this show to give both sides and not to always be the same predictable person that just beats on one political party. I think that after a while it gets old to the viewers.
Okay, let's talk about something that I think that is not, I don't want to say the elephant in the room, the eloquence in the room. Because it was certainly different listening to Hillary Clinton talk about things in a much different way, and some might say elevated way, than the current person who's in the White House, Patty. And some might say that she knows about issues, she is more attuned to issues than the person who is now the President of the United States, and she's not the President of the United States.
Right. Well, I tweeted today, it's night and day listening to Hillary Clinton speak eloquently, thoughtfully, with nuance about not just domestic policy issues, foreign policy issues. And then you hear Donald Trump talk about, President Adams and the Civil War, and you say, what is going on? It's depressing, frankly, that she's not our president, but we're moving forward. And I think that Hillary's voice is a powerful one in this resistance. The resistance needs all the voices it can get, and the fact that she can get under his skin, I think it's a powerful thing for this resistance.
So she was asked, Anna, about, Christiane asked her about sexism, but then she quickly pivoted and talked about equal rights in Russia and gave examples of inequality, not just for women. What did you make of that?
Look, I think she was focusing on some of the issues that she probably believes and her base believes led to her defeat. I am sure Hillary Clinton has spent the last 6 months doing a lot of what-ifing. What if, Bill had not sat with former Attorney General Lynch in that plane and she had not recused herself? What if Huma had left sex texting addicted Wiener the first time and they hadn't gone and investigate this third time of his sex texting and found more emails that led to that letter? What if? I mean, there are so many what ifs, you could go crazy. I am going to do America the favor after the painful 2 years of campaigning that we just lived, of not relitigating this campaign again at 12 o'clock at night, because really, it should make your teeth hurt a lot. What did I think about
I
her
agree with
answer?
that, Don. I agree with that.
Hey, I appreciate you guys
I think
joining
her
us
answer
late.
was truthful.
Thank you.
I think
And I
Hillary
gotta
Clinton
go.
is through with wallowing in self-pity, and
I've got to
it is
go.
hard not to look at all the things that are going on with the
Now
Trump
you preach.
Listen,
campaign
you are, and
investigation.
when
and not
Anderson
put
looks
some
at
blame
me be
back.
mad tomorrow because I took up some of his show, then I'm going to blame you. I'll tell him to call you. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Good to see all of you. That's it for us tonight. I'll see you right back here tomorrow.
Did you know 2 areas of your brain can make it hard to lose weight? Contrave is an FDA-approved weight loss medicine that may help adults who are overweight or struggle with obesity lose weight and keep it off. Contrave is believed to work on 2 areas of the brain, your